Attention passionate Baltimore Ravens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Baltimore Ravens' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Baltimore Ravens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Baltimore RAVENS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the AFC landscape lately, you know that the Baltimore Ravens are not sitting still. They're constantly looking for ways to strengthen their roster to push themselves closer to that ultimate goal, the Super Bowl. And right now, there's a lot of buzz about a potential move involving a wide receiver that's been making waves recently, Courtland Sutton from the Denver Broncos. Yeah, Sutton, a guy who's been through some ups and downs but still holds a lot of promise, especially with his experience and talent. The Ravens are reportedly eyeing Sutton in a move that could really shake things up in the division. The interesting part: it's a conditional third-round pick in the 2026 draft, so a long-term investment that could pay off big time if Sutton finds his rhythm in Baltimore. But let's back up a little and talk about why Sutton is such an intriguing target for the Ravens. First of all, he's a former Pro Bowler from 2019, which says a lot about his talent level and potential. Back then, Sutton was one of the top receivers in the league, ranking 45th on the top 100 list for 2025. His stats this season aren't eye-popping, but they're solid. A total of 35 receptions for 512 yards and 4 touchdowns. And on average, he's been catching passes at 6 yards per reception with a PFF grade of 86.2, which is quite respectable. Over his career, Sutton has accumulated nearly 300 receptions for over 500 yards and 24 touchdowns. His yards per reception sit at 15.1, and he's a guy who's shown he can be reliable when healthy. Speaking of health, that's been a big concern for Sutton lately. 2025 looked promising because he finally had a clean slate, playing all 8 games without injury. That's crucial because the Ravens are looking to add someone who can be a consistent threat, especially after losing some offensive firepower with Lamar Jackson's hamstring issues. The Ravens are trying to bolster their attack, especially in the passing game, and Sutton could be the perfect complement alongside other targets like Bateman and Flowers. The idea is to create mismatches and stretch defenses, something that's been missing at times this season. And let's not forget the context here. The Ravens are currently sitting at 6-2, within $14 million cap space, which gives them some flexibility to pull off such a move. They're also trying to rebuild their offense after some injuries and inconsistencies, especially in the passing game. The addition of Sutton could elevate their passing attack from a middle-of-the-road unit to a top-5 offense, similar to the Bengals' Higgins era, which was so effective at elevating their entire team. With this move, the Ravens could see their trio of receivers, Sutton, Bateman, and Flowers, amass over 200 yards combined, boosting their third-down conversion rates by around 18%, which is huge when you're trying to sustain drives and keep the defense on their heels. Now, the Denver Broncos are also in a bit of a rebuild mode. After a rough start to the season, they've been trying to shake things up, including freeing up some cap space, around $25 million, by releasing players and restructuring contracts. One of the moves involved freeing up $9 million for their defensive line, which shows their focus on rebuilding from the trenches. They've been trading some veteran guys and trying to develop their youth, especially after some rookie slumps that have hurt their overall performance. The Broncos are currently 3-5, but odds are still high that they'll be looking to build for the future, and trading Sutton for a third-round pick in 2026 fits that plan perfectly. They're trying to develop younger players and get more cap flexibility, which means they're looking at the big picture, not just short-term wins. For the Ravens, this is a chance to add a proven veteran receiver who can immediately contribute. The team has already added other pieces, like Flowers, to help offensively, but Sutton could be that game changer, especially in the red zone. His size and skill set make him a mismatch for many defenses, and with Lamar Jackson's ability to extend plays, Sutton's deep threat capability and reliable hands could open up new dimensions in Baltimore's offense. It's also worth noting that Sutton's hands are considered some of the most secure in the league, with a drop rate of only 2.1%, which surpasses Bateman's 3.2%. That consistency is exactly what the Ravens need to make their passing game more reliable. What's really fascinating is the potential impact of this move on the overall division. The Ravens are already contenders, but adding Sutton, along with other offensive pieces, could push them into a different stratosphere. The AFC North is fierce, with teams like the Bengals, Steelers, and Browns all fighting for relevance. But if Baltimore manages to bolster their passing game effectively, they could become the team to beat in the division once again. Their defense, which is already solid, can focus more on creating turnovers and getting stops, knowing that their offense has a reliable target in Sutton. Plus, the chemistry between Jackson and his receivers has been a work in progress, but adding Sutton could accelerate that process significantly. Now, let's talk about the potential implications of Sutton's arrival in Baltimore. First, it's a clear message that the Ravens are all in this season. They're making aggressive moves to maximize Lamar Jackson's window and to make sure they're competitive not just now, but for the long haul. Sutton's presence could elevate their ranking from the 10th overall offense to the top 5, which is a game changer in today's NFL. The Ravens are known for their physical, run-heavy style, but the addition of a player like Sutton suggests they're serious about evolving into a more balanced, explosive attack. This could also open up more opportunities for their other receivers and tight ends, creating more mismatches and forcing defenses to cover the entire field. On the defensive side, Baltimore has been resilient this season, but they're also aware that improvements are necessary to contend for a Super Bowl. The AFC is stacked with talented teams, and the Ravens are not just looking to get into the playoffs. They want to dominate once they get there. Adding a reliable receiver like Sutton helps take some pressure off their defense by making their offense more unpredictable and explosive. It's about creating a balanced team that can adapt to any situation, whether they're playing from behind or trying to close out a game in the final minutes. When you look at the big picture, this potential move signals the Ravens' ambitions. They're not just content with a playoff appearance. They want to go all the way, and they're willing to make strategic moves to improve their chances. Sutton's history of making contested catches and his ability to gain yards after the catch, YAC, will be vital in tight situations, especially in the red zone. His 35 receptions for 512 yards and 4 touchdowns this year show that he's still a significant threat when utilized properly. And with Lamar Jackson's creativity and improvisation skills, Sutton could become a favorite target in clutch moments. As for the Broncos, they're clearly prioritizing youth, cap management, and long-term development, which makes Sutton available at a reasonable cost. This move is a classic example of teams trying to balance immediate needs with future planning. For Baltimore, it's an opportunity to add a proven veteran without giving up too much in draft capital. For Denver, it's about building for the future and creating space for their younger receivers to develop. So what does this all mean for the upcoming games? Well, if the Ravens do manage to acquire Sutton, it could spark a significant boost in their offensive efficiency. Expect Lamar Jackson to look more comfortable throwing to a reliable target, especially in third-down situations. The combination of Flowers and Sutton would give Baltimore a formidable duo capable of stretching the field and making tough catches in traffic. It also puts pressure on opposing defenses to adjust their coverages, potentially freeing up other players and creating more opportunities for the entire offense to thrive. Looking ahead, the Ravens are shaping up to be one of the most intriguing teams in the AFC. They have a strong defense, a versatile offense, and now possibly a game-changing receiver in Sutton. Their schedule remains challenging, but with these strategic moves, they're positioning themselves to be serious contenders come playoff time. The AFC is always competitive, but Baltimore's aggressive approach shows they're not here just to participate. They're here to win, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to bring another Super Bowl trophy home. And now, Baltimore Ravens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you believe Sutton can be the missing piece that pushes Baltimore over the top? Or do you think the team should focus on other areas of the roster? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Ravens. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates and insights, so stay tuned for the latest Baltimore Ravens news because this season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting yet. Thanks for being with us, and as always, let's go Ravens.